I go to my honey. Ooh, it smell like chopp. I gotta have it fresh, so I go to the Saints Club.
All right, Roc N Red, we back in the building. No script, no chaser. Shoot. Happy Friday, people. What's this a nice Friday. It's actually starting to cool off a little bit.
It is
trying to get some rain, but it's supposed to be some pretty bad. I was looking at a friend driving back from Lake Charles, man, and he took a picture of the sky and it looked crazy over there. Like it looked like a hurricane coming from the north.
Really?
Yeah, the sky looked bad. It looked like he was like on I-10. He lived here in Houston, so but he said right outside Lake Charles. I know his people out there in Mississippi, so he drive I-10 a lot. He had some footage, man. It just the sky looked wild. And just a little while ago, the wind started blowing hard. It's stuff I can hear stuff hitting the roof. I'm like, what's wind just started picking up, about to get 30, 40 miles by, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking to the east right now, and it looks ever so slightly dark. Like there could be some rain way out there. Like it's blue, but it's just got a little. And we're looking towards towards the plants and everything, so it could be anything. But I see a hint of gray out there. So
yeah, it's supposed to be something. I got an alert. Man, besides the weather, man, there's some good football going on right now. You watching football? You watching the games?
Man, I'm not, to be honest with you, man. I for whatever reason, man, I just never follow. I don't follow sports. I don't follow sports. I can get into it for the moment. Like if we sit down and watch a game, I'll be, by the time we're halfway into it, I'll be more into it than you are, and I'll be analyzing it and all that. But I've always been somebody. I don't know, man. I just never. I'll watch like Astros with my dad just because that's like a bonding thing, and he loves to watch the Astros now. But I don't watch a lot of sports, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Except in person, I went to a football game to watch the homie Dylan.
Yeah, that's a whole difference.
Cedar Falls versus Pearland a couple of weeks ago, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the act of going to a football game.
I'm all footballed out. I got Ash's 8th grade this year, so his games on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We got Monday night football, Thursday night football, Friday night high school, Saturday college,
I love that,
Sunday NFL. And I'm a football head. Like I can, basketball is good, but only in the playoffs. I really only watch in the playoffs because I need the drama. It's just not enough drama during the season. Like they are lackadaisical. People not playing defense. Ain't nobody hustling hard to the playoffs when they're when they battling for that bigger check, that bonus. They play in the NFL in the NBA, but NFL, I mean football. I feel like it has its ups and downs to where the game is good, and right now the game is real good. Like it's good. College, we got Dion doing his thing, coming in and shocking the world, switching schools and going to Colorado and then dropping a ranked team the first week out, and then like we got UT in Alabama Saturday night at 6:00. So that's going down.
Like I said, I can appreciate it, and I see everybody talking about Dion in Colorado, and I don't know what's going on.
Like,
I know there's something.
Hey, that's how I am about some things. It was like I'm like that about some things. So I get it. Like you're not supposed to. Everybody's not supposed to be able to consume everything.
No. And I don't know. I could go deep into this and bore you, but I've always felt like, in my opinion, there's other stuff I would rather spend my time on. And that's a criticism politically that people, I hear it more and more lately with all the politics and everything, which I wasn't into up until like a few years ago, where it seems like you can't ignore it anymore and you better try to figure out what's going on and take a position. Just because we can't afford to not be informed anymore. I feel like through most of my life, politics could have been in the background and there wasn't much difference between the Republicans and Democrats and there wasn't much drama. But anyways, what I was getting at is a lot of people now, when they talk about Americans or just people in general, they go, everybody's more worried about their team and that's a distraction. And I've heard that throughout life. The idea that people are distracted by their television, their shows, or sports. What do you think about that? I mean, I think it's good And I wish I could get the enjoyment that a lot of people do out of just watching a game. It just doesn't do it for me though, generally. But like, I don't think it's bad though.
Yeah,
What do you?
well, I mean, like I played football,
Yeah,
my whole life. Like I broke my hip. Like I would probably still be playing if I didn't break my hip. Like I probably still would have played till I couldn't play no more. Uh, like I say, I come from a football family. Like we
yeah.
all played football.
Some
Like
people it's just tradition like that, and that's
yeah,
like
and
Brad and
it
Brian
is.
Beesage.
But
They,
the funny thing about it, like my daddy wasn't a football player. My daddy was a baseball player. His best friend
yeah,
was Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones made the game-winning catch in the '69 World Series for the Miracle Mets. I knew Cleon, so my dad was big on baseball, and I played baseball when I was younger. But sports alone, I think sports give a different dynamic to a person because
absolutely.
you learn how to be coachable, you learn how to take criticism. It's a lot of women that didn't play sports, and you can't criticize them. You can't tell them, hey, you need to fix that or do that. That's why so many women these days. That's why relationships are suffering a little bit. I feel like men are always getting it because if your money ain't right or if you ain't get enough women, something ain't right about you. But
I
women
agree with you
can fake
100%.
it.
And I've always argued that point, and I've argued it recently a lot about the value of playing sports. And I played
Yeah, it's a
sports
big
too.
one.
But the value that you get out of that, and I've seen it in life. I've seen the people who played sports and played
Yeah,
college, and where they and when they if they make it or they don't. When you get into the work life, there's a competitiveness
yeah,
that you get with those people that you may not have learned that if you haven't played team sports or even individual sports. But I always talk about the value of that. It's not, and because that people would say, well, that jocks and this and that. There's a mental toughness and there's things that take you far in life beyond the physical that you
yeah,
get out of having a coach and being coachable and having to endure the things you do when you play sports
yeah.
versus not. I don't care how smart you are if you haven't had some sort of team dynamic. And there's probably other ways to get that, but you certainly build a skill set and values that you can't get, or you can, but it's difficult to get without it.
But
And
is there
people can
another
F
way?
that up too. Not
Is there
everybody
another
who
way?
played sports is a good employee or coachable or even a good person, but a lot of them are. And the kids that I see now whose parents are pushing them towards that, I know they're going to be successful.
Yeah,
I
but like
know.
you say, it's another way to get the team
I,
feel. It's for kids.
I
Is
can't
there
think of one. I assume there are. If
besides
you're super
games?
smart and you're on like the robotics team, I'm thinking about things that I never did,
Okay,
but I'm saying
okay,
they
like
probably
academics team,
exist.
academics team.
I'm
Okay,
not saying that you have to be an athlete to get this, but
yeah.
I find it hard to. I don't know what the competitiveness would be like on a robotics team or maybe a debate team is
Debate
something
team's
that builds.
pretty stellar competition. Now they serious.
There's
Uh,
probably something to that,
Yeah,
but
I didn't do debate, but I was in honors classes, so I had classes with people who did debate.
yeah.
Shoot, I still when I'm reading, still twirl my like debaters. I still twirl my pen like a debater, right? It's just I do mine's a little different, but I still do it when I'm reading and studying, just because being in the class and being around them, they all used to twirl. And I was like, why in the heck y'all all do that? It was like, it's debate, and stuck in my head somehow. Got me
Yeah.
doing stuff. But I
Going
mean,
back,
I
I
feel like
wish I had.
you could get
Going back, I wish I had done that. I wish I had pursued. I'd never thought
debate.
about doing debate,
I
but
know,
it would be a good skill. It's a good skill to
I know.
have.
I think we thought it was geeky, and now like we
Yeah,
all end up in debate on Facebook,
yeah,
and we were like,
yeah.
man, if I had to practice, I was killing people.
And a lot of us. I know you don't like Ted Cruz, and I don't like him necessarily either. But
I
that's
don't
one
think
of
Ted Cruz wife like him. I don't think nobody like him. His kids,
fair,
nobody.
fair enough. But that's one of his greatest assets is his ability to debate, and like he kept
Really?
I forgot what it was that he kept from getting passed. He created what is it, a filibuster or something by just talking in the Senate for like 12 hours straight. Like you got to be sort of. I'm not saying it makes him a good person. I think you've got to be kind of a psychopath for somebody because I can only debate what I believe in. I have a moral compass that won't allow me to. I mean, I can, as an exercise, take the other side of something, but I don't. I think in debate, when you're taking a class for debate, don't they just assign you a position and you have to argue it, even if you disagree with it? So like that's a great skill, but it's sort of dishonest as well because you just don't know.
It's being a lawyer, it really is what it is.
Right. It prepares you for law. That's probably what that class was for to begin with. For law,
you don't get to pick what the case is and the circumstances. Yeah. They just give it to you and you got to argue. That's a lawyer. That's what it is. I mean, but like I say, it's something that you now see as that actually is a aspect of life that you wish you probably would have trained a little more. I think we all get older and realize like and then when we try to tell our kids like the geeks gonna be your bosses, the geeks gonna run the world. Stop laughing at the smart guys going down the different hall and the Poindexters with the glasses and the broken thick glass. They gonna be the Bill Gates and that's what Bill Gates looked like in ninth grade. It's just, so
I don't know how true that is though. And you went to more schools than I did, but we both you graduated from Creek, right? Or did you graduate?
No, late.
So, but you were there. How long were you at Creek?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So that's, might as well have been 4. You were there long enough to know everybody.
Well, yeah.
I would say there's some of the very, very smart people disappeared. The people that were like top of the class, they went somewhere where we don't even know. They might have ended up.
We don't know. They're somewhere making rocket fuel and we don't even know.
Oh, and with you at Lake, I'm sure it was even way more so than at Creek with all the NASA kids and people. I mean, that
I just didn't hang around that crowd. Like I was in the classes, but after class, I hung with gangsters. I was with the people who was, I was hanging with I was in the geeky classes, but I was on the football team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was making music and rapping in high school. Like and by the time I got to Lake, like in Brook, I had a reputation that preceded me. Like I just got expelled for robbing the school. So it was my reputation preceded me, but it wasn't just that robbing of the school. It's the stuff that we did in the streets. And everybody remember the night that I brought 10 people in a two-door Regal to a party, like, and Dwight jumped out the trunk. Like, don't nobody forget that night. Like, it was legendary stuff we pulled like that, just wild stuff that we did that was just like, man, like, you in the 10th grade? How are y'all doing this in 10th grade? Like, so stuff like that just kind of, and then like when I got to Lake, like, man, them kids was paying me just to come bring my drum machine, plug my drum machine up and just freestyle at the party, freestyle and put their name in the freestyle. They was paying me $20, each side of a tape for stuff like that. Like, so I mean, I just did stuff that kind of left my reputation to precede me, but it was like, I didn't really get into the environment of the whole. I was just in honors classes. The rest of it I ain't want. The grades was just to get to college, and then college was just for football. And once I broke my hip, I really didn't see a need for none of it.
Yeah. Oh, so you actually played? You were going to college to play football? I didn't know
that. I mean, I like to think I would. When I broke my hip.
You broke it in high school. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, who knows where it would have went, because I mean, I don't know. I didn't get to play. Like I say, when I broke my hip, I actually broke my hip in the second game, and I didn't realize it till the fourth game. So in the third game, I caught an interception, and in the fourth game, I had 2 interceptions. So I had 3 interceptions in 4 games. I was like number 10 in the Chronicle. Like I was, you know what I'm saying? And I played quarterback most of the time. I had just started playing defense just because they, I think it was Shelton Guillory. Like they had him combed to be quarterback since like 8th grade. Like I'm coming from Alabama, nobody knew me. I was the JV quarterback, but I wasn't even trying to fight him for that. I wanted to hit. Like I had been getting hit my whole life. I wanted to be on defense, so I switched to free safety, and I was starting free safeties. But I was, you know what I'm saying, I was racking up the interceptions and broke my hip, like, and didn't realize it.
I do remember when I was
would have went to college, but I wouldn't say I would have been NFL. I don't know what I would have been. Shoot, the size that I gained after high school, sure would have been useful for college, but Like I say, after you break your hip, it's a wrap. But the whole point is that I didn't see the point of school no more after that. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Legitimately, I didn't care at all about school. Like, school for what? Like, I already knew I was a roofer. Like, I had roofing to fall back on. It's like I'm either rap or I'm a roof, like one or the other. You know what I'm saying? At that time, when I come back from my senior year, I'm making $18 an hour the summer before I come back my senior year. So I know I can. Yeah, this is 95. I'm making $18 an hour in 95. So, and I had been making that every summer. So that's how I was able to get a car and clothes. Because my mama, it was just my mama. Like, we was pissed poor if I just depended on her income. But all through high school, I bought my own cell phone. I had my own phone line. I bought my own car. I bought my own school clothes. All this stuff. Anything you saw me in high school, I paid for it. Like, so that's why people were like, man, your mama like your sister. No, my mama respect that she can't provide it, but I'm going to get it myself. So she can't really tell me. And she knew how hard I worked with my dad all summer. Like, wasn't like I was out there, I was out there hustling, but you know, I didn't do that full time. And I always told my friends, like, I get in trouble when my mama come, man, why your mama always bail you out? Bro, I make straight A's. I'm in honors classes.
Yeah.
Like,
I was kind of like what you just described was sort of me as well. I was always smart, and I took honors classes to a certain point until I voluntarily dumbed myself down at some point in high school because
it's hard to get out of them, bro.
What?
It's hard to get out of honors classes. Once you get in them, they want you to fail to get out, and that's just like, I'm not gonna fail. You're gonna let me out.
Well, I honestly got to a point where I wanted to be more like where the hot girls were, and some of the girls were in regular classes, and I'm like, I've already, I had my thoughts were all messed up, but I was smart, and I never got in trouble at school, but I did a lot of stuff and never got caught. That's the thing. Like, I don't think I ever got detention one time in high school, but I did all sorts of dirt. And not like robbing the school, but like I should have. It was weird how I got away with things. Everybody thought I was a really good kid, but I was running around with kids who were doing all the bad stuff.
You were running around with Iran. You were doing something wrong.
I wasn't hanging with Iran at that point. That was when I was younger. I don't even remember. Was he at school there then?
No, he never went to Creek with me. Like, Iran was like when we were doing our dirt, he was in like 7th or 8th grade. So he was like BG. Like, so he was in like 7th, 8th grade when he was hanging around us. So I don't even remember what
I remember one thing.
I don't even know.
I remember one thing about being a freshman there, and like some of my memories of things, as you'll learn, it's just a flash of like what happened, and that's how I remember things. I'll never forget when I was a freshman, and it was probably the first week of school or two at Creek, and I was walking from the direction of like the football locker rooms back towards the middle of campus, and I'll never forget, I saw Iran getting chased by his brother and Roe, and maybe you, I don't know, somebody else, but with a paddle. Do you remember, like, and it,
with
like,
paddles?
This is when people were like getting hazed for being freshmen. And I just assumed that like Justin and you guys were like welcoming him to the club, but somebody had a paddle, like Dazed and Confused, and y'all were chasing him through the campus, and he just ran past me. And that I don't know if it was you or not, but it was a few guys.
Sounds like it's out.
I was like, okay, they're paddling him. I know the kickers had initiations and shit for people. The football players did stuff.
Yeah, I was running like that, like
just little fun stuff. Like, hey, welcome to high school. You're hanging with the seniors now.
With Iran, it usually wasn't that. Iran was testy, so it was probably he hit somebody with something, and now we chasing his ass down to get him back. Like, he broke a broomstick over my head.
Justin was laughing when he was doing it. His own brother was chasing him. And I was around enough of that. I saw how they fought with each other, and you told me stories, and I've seen a couple of things, so I know how that was.
That's how it was. But it wasn't like legit like this what we do to everybody. Like, Iran just was real testy, and like he was mouthy. Like he let a mouth off. Like, he say whatever.
Oh, you think I don't know that? Jeez, like, that guy? Horrible, man.
Yes, his mouth was just he would not stop no matter what it was. And like I say, he was so young that we couldn't, like, you can't really beat him, But you know what I'm saying? As they say, you can snatch him by the collar though. You can snatch him by the collar though, and he had to get snatched by the collar on a regular. So if it was anything, but I don't know, we didn't like do initiations because that was my whole thing. Like that's why we called ourselves a clique. We didn't want to be a gang. Like
right.
To me,
I don't know what the word is. I don't know if initiation is the word, but just you get to high school, if you got an older brother or somebody and you're going to hang with them, they're going to let you, like we all knew a lot of people like that who like they had an older, like Cody Funk even, he had an older sister. That's probably why he was even, allowed to get away with some of this. She was a sweet girl too. And then you got this guy. Maybe that's not the best example, but you had, Justin and Iran, you had, you're gonna you're gonna get to go to these parties, but we're gonna fuck with you a little bit. We're gonna give you a hard time when you're a freshman, and then next thing you know, you're gonna be the coolest guy in school because you're hanging out with the seniors. And that's the way I saw it. I have no brothers, like I'm an only child, so I never got to experience that. But I imagine.
Like my thing was, I got brothers, but like by the time I moved to Texas, like I was 4 years off, so my brother had already graduated. They all went to school in Alabama. Like my brother actually stayed in Alabama his senior year because he came to Texas and he ended up at Willow Ridge, and he went there for
man.
Yeah, but this is Willow Ridge we're talking about. So he goes 3 weeks in Willow Ridge, and he's from Alabama, and he left and went back because even though he was like a CD student his senior year, he got in an engineering program. He's a straight A student, ended up going to college, graduating from college. But 3 weeks at Willow Ridge sent him back to Alabama. He said he was in the class and the teacher was asking the guy to do something. He wouldn't do it. So the dude called the teacher a bitch, and the teacher started crying. And he got up and slapped the mess out of the teacher. Said, "Bitch, stop crying." Nate said he walked out to school, walked home, and said, "Mom, I'm going back to Alabama."
Wow.
But it was, you got to think about it. Willow Ridge is, how many games does the Willow Ridge produce? Like, it's some serious, like,
there's a lot of talent out of Willow Ridge and a lot of rap talent.
But it was some serious games.
At the same time, you're talking about like the early 90s, man. Scarface, 3 2.
Yes. It's this time because so this is my 8th grade year. I meet Bushwick after I went to what is the middle school by Willow Ridge? I think it's called and I can't remember. I went to that school for like 3 weeks.
Coffee or something like that. No.
It's something like with an M. I can't even remember the name.
Ridgemont.
It's something. Yeah, it's Mick something. I can't remember the name. Mick something. I ended up at FM Black. I ended up transferring to FM Black. As we moved to like 34th and Mangum, Silver Creek Apartments. Shout out to everybody in Studewood over there. Shout out to everybody who went to FM Black.
But I ended up earlier today. Yes, right at that intersection. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 30 man. The Silver Creek Apartments used to go down over there. But I met Bushwick probably like a couple months. He was hollering at my brother's baby mama, and they ended up breaking up because Bushwick invited her to a party, and she was like, "I'm going to the party with Ghetto Boys." My brother's like, "No, you ain't. Bus ticket back to Alabama."
I've got some great stories that involve Bushwick, and I met him once, but it's not my story. It's Brad and Brian's story about Bushwick. I won't repeat it here, but it's amazing.
Oh, well, I got a Bushwick story. I got a Bushwick story, and it was a funny one. So later that day, Bushwick was kind of hitting everybody in the apartment. I guess he was trying to hit my brother's baby mama. So he had like a little shorty over there he was messing with. And I see
all of these stories are just like this, by the way. Every time, and that's how I know it's true. Because he's always
at somebody's gal, bro. Like, yeah, so, all right, so there's this Puerto Rican dude. He had this bad girl. She was Puerto Rican dude, man. So he had a bad girl, man, and Puerto Rican dude was kind of fast. So him and Bushwick get into it in Silver Creek Apartments. And dude, the funny thing about it, like, you ever seen a little person drop kick somebody? It's so funny, like see him jump in the air and kick.
Only Bushwick in that video, only in the playing tricks video. Or like when he's dancing, but I totally believe it because I've seen him do this thing.
Yeah, bro. So he did this little jump kick thing, and the dude was getting the best of him until he jumped up and kicked him in the face, and it was like everybody bust out laughing because you let a little person jump up and kick you in the face, but they were getting into it because Bushwick. And I seen him like walking through the apartments with I want to say it was Beto Joe. It was a white dude. I didn't know white people on rap a lot of the time. So it's probably Beto.
Or no, Beto was a African dude, but you're
Not
talking about
Beto.
you're talking about Mike Dean.
Mike D. I don't know why I
And
said
Mike
Beto.
Dean is a legend. If you ran into Mike Dean walking through Silver Creek Apartments, that's just a
dude. Like it was like I'm walking and my baby mama at the time, she didn't even know who he was. She was like, this little midget laying up on me talking about you want to go to the party. And I come in the house right after her. Hey, I just seen Bushwick. I just seen Bushwick. And she like, is Bushwick a little midget? I say, yeah. She said, who is that? I said, you don't know who that is? It's Bushwick from the Ghetto Boys. She from Alabama. She just came up here. She ain't know. Ghetto Boys is popping, but it ain't, it ain't. It's H-Town. It's regional. It ain't even touching Alabama like that. And they only got rid of like one hit right at this point. So yeah, this is way they take it at this time. Willie D's already with them. Willie D already with them. So this is after Willie D already with them. So she don't know who they is, and I'm all excited. And so she like, yeah, I'm going that party. Soon as my brother got home off work, like, you ain't going that party. Sent her back to Alabama, and shout out to Tawana. She moved back to Alabama and had TL.
I'm going to tell the story now about Bushwick. I think this is okay. I wasn't going to say it. And there's a picture.
Rest in peace to Bushwick, by the way, man.
Polaroid guy, the Polaroid dude from Scout Bar. You know who I'm talking about? The black dude. You ever?
Yeah, you talking about the doorman, Ralph?
What's that?
Talking about the dude on the door?
Not Fred, not Big Fred, but there's a Polaroid
not
guy
Ralph, Fred around
Lake. But anyways, there's a picture of this. But so when Brad was managing Roc Newton's back in the days, Bushwick came in there. This was like late 90s, probably 98, 99, maybe 2000. And long story short, one of the dudes we went to high school with went up to him and said, "Hey, Bill, you want to smoke some kill?" And Bill said yes. And they went downstairs. They smogged out Brad's mom's Ford Taurus with Bushwick Bill, smoked a blunt, in the mom's car. And the whole time Bushwick was apparently paranoid. And he was like, I'm a celebrity. If he was like, we're gonna be on the news if we get it. He was kind of paranoid. He was like, if we get busted, it's gonna be on the news, is what he was saying. And that was it. I mean, they smogged out the car with a blunt in the parking lot, and they went back up, and he went back to work. And yeah, I don't know. I think he had a Chucky.
That sounds like he's a kind of a paranoid individual like that. But man, rest in peace, Bushwick legend, man. Yeah.
But then I knew other people that supposedly had been roommates with him, and they were like, "Man, he's an asshole," And then I've heard that from other people, and then I finally met him a couple of months before he passed away at the House of Blues in front. I went to the Ghetto Boys show, and sure enough, I walked outside and I looked to the left of me, and Bushwick was standing right there, and I go, "Oh shit, Bushwick Bill." I go, "What's up, man?" I go, "Man, have a good show." I go, "Can I get an auto or can I take a picture with you?" He goes, "Yeah, man, maybe after the show." So he kind of blew me off. And I was like, and then after the show, they were charging money for pictures, and I was like, I'm not doing that. Sorry. But
I mean,
he kind of, you shouldn't. I've learned maybe you shouldn't meet some of these people. If you might be disappointed, and he didn't disappoint me. It was fine. He can.
I don't know, like to me, like I'm not a starstruck type person. Like if I meet you, I probably, even if I admire you, I probably still won't ask for a picture. Like I'm not that type of person, like especially like with music, because I go in the same places these people go in. I mean, I talk to some of the same people, and like so it becomes less of a star more than just like a, like a Facebook friend. Like you wouldn't see, it's like like PSK and Reno, like people like this. Like we listen to them growing up. But then later on, you do a show with Reno. You hollering at PSK. You meeting him in his neighborhood, picking up merch from him. So it's a different relationship later on. So it's like with Zero. Like I love Zero to death. Like one of my favorite artists, one of the coldest out of Houston ever. But my homeboy cook with him so much. Like I see Zero all the time. Like and you know what I'm saying? Like even when it ain't even Zero stuff. It's just Cook posting pictures. Because he with Zero.
Yeah.
Lately, Flip been
I
together.
found myself in
Like
that
Flip,
situation
like
recently.
I used to be on House of X. Lil Flip knew Triple X. Uh, a lot of stuff didn't happen behind Lil Flip. I ain't gonna say behind Lil Flip. Triple X was probably lying. I don't know who was lying, but shows and stuff like that. And like I say, DJ DMD met him. Was supposed to get on one of my songs, one of my tracks. I wrote the hook. Wayne Bell, rest in peace, was singing on it. It was like I was running to these people. Like I say, we've been in Los Magnificos. I think we did 2 Los Magnificos. One, I was just up there. The other one, I was actually performing. You know, like I say, once you like in the circles, the starstruckness. I don't even know if I have that like about anybody.
You're different. You've
be
actually done this and rapped, and you've been back, you know, in these early days in the late '90s when you're rubbing elbows with these people. It's a little different. But
Yeah.
I've started to, in the last 10 years, and maybe 15 years, I've met a lot of rappers, Houston rappers, people that I would, you know, Zero is my favorite rapper. I met him, met Slim Thug 10 times. You know, it's to the point now where we just know each other. But it's just I just have regular conversations. I'm past the point of I'm a grown man and they're grown, you know, we're just grown up people. I'm not like I don't approach anybody and be like, hey man, I'm your biggest fan. Or I might be like, hey man, I grew up. If I met Scarface, I'd have to let him know, man, I grew up on you, man, and you're a legend. And I would probably be a little bit like that. I just got to if it's Scarface. But other than that, I just talk to people regularly, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a regular. I'm a regular type person. Like if I meet them, I would probably ask them a question nobody else would ever ask them. Like I'll probably ask them some questions. Yeah, I would probably ask them a throat ass question, like, you know, like if I met somebody like that I really idolize, and I don't really idolize nobody. I ain't gonna use that word as like it's people that I really admire what they do and what they bring to the world. Like, and it's not a lot of people like that. It's some people I would just be like, hey, that's them because, like I say, we've opened up for Too Short. Like Too Short dapped me up coming off the stage. Nice set.
Yeah.
I mean, that was at Maker back in the days. The same night that George Floyd stole somebody's stuff and somebody the first time accused him of doing dope. Like that same night, I was smoking with George Floyd. That same night that we did a show at Jamaica Maker, 10 minutes.
So that was way back in the days, yeah.
Yes. So we got 10 minutes. But that's like I say, stuff like that. Like so, like I remember like when I remembered who George Floyd was, remember the stuff that actually happened. Remember that one night we were smoking and somebody said, man, he on that dope. And I was like, what? No. I remember telling them like, you got 2 famous boxers' names. Like, you're going to be famous one day.
Mm-hmm. And, I never thought about that. But yeah.
It's stuff like that. Like, but I don't know if that makes it like less, but I'm just not that type of person. Like, short of Jesus, I ain't gonna be starstruck over nobody.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And I think being it is surreal when I think about. I grew up on the Ghetto Boys. I grew up on PSK 13. People that were older than us when I was a kid. Too Short. I'm shaking hands with him, like you said. And meeting them in person, but then realizing, hey, we're just both grown men, and it's not you're not starstruck like you think you would be, and you don't say all the stupid stuff you might have said when you were a kid, or it's just I don't know. I guess it's being in your fuck it 40s and also just being a mature adult. You just get to a point where we've done work for celebrities and famous people, and I don't get geeked out about that. It's just you're just, I don't know. I'm normally just pretty cool about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess there's a time and place for that.
Yeah, I think it's more of a young thing after you get old. But I mean, I've seen grown women take off their bloomers and throw them on a New Edition stage. So I don't know if it.
Oh, that's different though. I mean, that's a funny thing to see because how old is New Edition? Now,
New Edition, they got to be in their early 60s right now. I don't know, 60s. Or late 50s, early 60s.
And is everybody still alive?
Yeah, everybody's still alive. Every
Are
last
they
one of them.
touring?
Who? I
'Cause if
mean,
they
who
are
they?
touring,
Yeah,
that's
they
when
touring. Oh, they touring right now with Bobby Brown. All six
yes,
of them. All
yes.
six. Bobby Brown and Johnny Gill.
And
All
that's when
six.
you'll see 50-year-old women lose their minds and do just go crazy. Like
I would lose my mind, but I'm
lose all
not
their
gonna miss.
composure.
I probably won't miss a word. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not a New Edition fan. Like I remember New Edition with my cousin. This is back when she used to. This was trip. This when I knew Edition. I knew New Edition was something. The words to the song was on the album. You bought the vinyl. You take the little paper out the word. She was writing the lyrics to the song from listening to it, even though the lyrics was already down. Big girl bubble letters. That's how bad my cousins were. Shout out to my cousin Creed.
Oh, yeah.
But that's when I realized New Edition something. So I listened to the song and I mean, they boy jamming. They just jamming. And I became a New Edition fan. Plus, I mean, they was from the projects. I was in the projects when they came out. Like you can't.
Were they from Boston?
Boston, from the projects.
Yeah. And that was the first R&B group that I ever listened to as well, because Freddie Morgan put me on. He was, lived one house over from me, and that's where I got a lot of my early black musical influence from. But that was when we were kids. We were listening. I think he had a New Edition poster. Maybe that was more of a girl thing, but hey,
it wasn't, man. Everybody
New Edition because they had some solid vocalists. We were all. I mean, that was
bro. Like that. Are you talking about Belle Biv DeVoe? Come on now.
Johnny Gill, Belle Biv DeVoe,
Ralph
Tresvant. Who else?
Ralph Tresvant. Yeah. So you talking about if you take New Edition out of your life, you ain't got no my prerogative, no Poison, no bro. Come on, it ain't even a Poison without a my prerogative and a Poison.
Right.
Like, come on, like you can't. You take New Edition out. I don't care who you are. There's a New Edition song. I don't know if you're real sensitive like Drake type feelings. You might like Ralph Tresvant Sensitivity. Johnny Gill, Rub You the Right Way. Take off your red dress. Up on them high. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Johnny Gill, like they got classics. Can You Stay in the Rain? Come on,
man. Yeah, Can You Stand the Rain? Tenderoni. That's Bobby Brown, right?
There's countless songs that even as a man, like that was your jam. That's how. Look, Tenderoni was on everybody's freak tape. Tell me it wasn't on your sex tape.
Yeah, it is.
If you didn't have Tenderoni on that tape, you ain't make it right.
It's on there today. If I have a tape, it's on there. If I have a tape today, it's on there.
If you make one,
I will throw that on.
Tenderoni on there. Boy, please. That's what I mean. So New Editions it wasn't. Look, we didn't even try to get to the music. We still ended up on the music in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, man, I just wanted to just have a good. I didn't know. Hey, we didn't talk politics. That's good. We just bullshitted on music and back in the gap. Just throw it up. So that's cool. That's what
I mean, but New Edition, man. They're touring right now. They got Bobby Brown finally losing a little weight. Bobby was losing a couple steps there, but he lost a little weight. He's getting better. Yeah. But they like I said, man, them boys are old. Like they was kids when we were little kids, so they probably I say late 50s, maybe mid 50s.
Definitely late 50s.
Yeah. But I say that, but they still holding. They all still sing. They still together. They still doing their thing. I seen Michael Bivins did a interview on the Breakfast Club probably like a week ago, and he was just talking about, that all the other groups that came from him, like talking Boys to Men, ABC.
ABC.
Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's those big names. I mean, Boys to Men got some of the biggest hits we ever heard ever. Like so.
Out of Boston, of all places, you never hear about anybody from Boston. They were all legends in their own right. Everybody in that.
Funny thing about it, I know what a Boston accent is now, and to hear a black man with a Boston accent is funny. And they had those accents when they was a kid. We just didn't hear them. I heard them say "ma" the other day. I was like, man, that's a hard Boston accent. I bet he say parking lot. Man, shout out to everybody in Boston. Them accents is so real. Hey, man. Hey, we almost out of time. Hey, y'all. Hey, shout out to Boston, the project.
Hey, man, at this point, we can have a whole podcast and just bullshit about nothing. And that's sometimes these are the funnest ones, man. So
yep, that's Roc N Red, though.
We'll get to the music next time, man. Let's have a serious music one, though, soon.
Oh, we're going to do a vinyl one next time, dude.
Going to Vegas next week. I'm not gambling, by the way. I want you to know that for most. I'm going to visit people.
I'm not the gamble police.
I want you to know I don't gamble. I can't. I work too hard for my money, but I am going to Vegas to visit my people.
So, hey, have fun in Vegas.
Feeling fantastic. Crack open my eye. It smell like chopp.